don't have to like start over there. It's not. I'm ready. Hey guys, welcome back to WODdoc Project 365, episode 479. Today I'm out here at Velocity Training down in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, taking a course, rehab to performance. Correct? Did I say that right? Yeah, I'm here with Jason Brown. He's one of the head honchos here in rehab to performance, and he's helping us out today. Yesterday we did this anti-rotation drill that involved kind of quieting down the lower the lower back to give better levers or better leverage for the legs to kind of move off of. So today what we're going to do is we're going to attack the top half of the body, and Jason's going to help us out with that.
Yeah, perfect. So we're just going to get Dr. Tim to start down in a front plank on his hands.
Nobody ever called me Dr. A front plank, like push-up plank or?
Push-up plank.
Okay.
Perfect. And then because we're looking at anti-rotation like we did yesterday, because in athletics it can create wasted motion and biomechanical overload leading to injury, we're just going to ask him to stay as solid as possible, and he's going to reach over with this hand and touch this elbow.
See how I just moved my leg already?
Perfect. And then he'll replace his hand and switch with the other side. And as he did so well, we can start with the feet very wide for someone who's new to this exercise or someone who doesn't have a lot of fitness. And then as he does really well, I'm going to start to march him in here and make his challenge up, up, and up. And we'll see if we can get him to fall down on camera and make himself look a little silly.
It's really nice.
Beautiful. He's doing really well. What we're going to look for as he progresses is that he starts to stay even more still. We should be able to put our hot cup of Starbucks, a little glass of red wine, something on top of him and have it stay there the entire time throughout this exercise.
You see how I had to hold my breath? So do we want to be breathing through this, or is it okay if we hold our breath?
I would love for a nice, normal, relaxed breath to happen throughout this moment. The time he has to hold his breath is normally the sign that he's working a little too hard, which is okay in short bursts, but something we want to train out of as he goes forward. We can stand on up, Tim.
You know what I noticed about that is just doing 2 reps there. The amount of, the ability for me to do it in the first rep versus the second rep, it got a lot easier, although I'm out of breath, as you can tell already, right?
Yeah, perfect. So hopefully we get a little
He's like, yeah, that's exactly right.
A little learning and training effect as he goes forward, and then we'll start to progress this into standing. So what we're going to have him do is he'll take a little bit of an athletic stance, and he's going to lean forward and put pressure into my shoulders. Good. And then we're going to simply repeat the same exercise from up here.
So this is an easier progression, or is this a peel back?
This is typically a little bit easier on the core, but we're going to make it harder in just one moment.
Okay.
Relax here. Okay. This time onto my hands. Only this time I'm going to trust him. He's going to have to work harder because this time he's not in charge of which hand pulls away. I get to be in charge of which hand pulls away.
Okay.
And you can see he wants to anticipate that we should be doing alternates still, so we can start to make this faster. We can keep them out there for a while. We can start to make this more and more like the variability we see in certain sports.
So the idea then is to become reactively stable, right? Because that's what happens in sports is we don't always know how we're necessarily going to have to move one way or another, lateral sports especially, anything like that, that we have ballistic sideways motion or lateral motions, right?
Perfect.
We have to be able to react to that environment, and that is starting to teach us how to react to that environment.
Excellent. And also back to the concept of breathing, I want him to be able to breathe at any given point, because in sport he doesn't get to time his breath to the rep. Here he has to start to react, so we can always bring the core back to the breath.
Right. I really like that aspect of you talking about the breath, because so we do a lot of Olympic lifting, especially in CrossFit activities or even in Olympic lifting itself, and that's a time at which we're able to time the breath, right?
Sure.
So we use the Valsalva as a way to kind of like create this false stability or enhance that stability, so to speak, but you don't have that ability to do it in reactive type of sports.
Right. In closed activities like powerlifting or throwing, timing the breath can be a really nice way to juice performance. In more dynamic, multi-direction, reaction type sports, there just isn't that opportunity. So we just want to make sure we're training the human for the activity that they're going to do.
Awesome. So we would start on the ground. What would you start doing as far as rep scheme wise, especially if these people are out there doing it by themselves?
Sure. I mean, the rep scheme in this really depends on fitness level. People with high fitness levels can start with a fairly high rep scheme, especially if the form looks good. Folks who this is a little new to, we might have to start on their knees. We might start on their hands with only a couple reps. It's really a wide variation based on the athlete you're working with.
So what about when we go to a partner type of situation, like where it's more reactive like that? that could be more controlled by how far we're leaning over. So is this something that we could do as a warm-up or anything for teams and whatnot?
Yeah, it makes great warm-up, great team building, and frankly, typically when we do this with groups of people, they normally end up laughing and competing one another, which is great for learning and skill development as well.
Awesome. Jason, thank you so much. And guys, until tomorrow, we're optimizing function to optimize performance.
WODdoc.